I have a story to tell you, and I knew this might happen because over the years I was thinking about what I should do, but I didn't want to do it. So I was in a hurry, and there was a package misdelivered to me, and it said the name of my neighbor. It had his address, so I knew I was going to have to take it out to go take it over to his home, and I was in a hurry, so I was grabbing my keys and my pen, my ink pen. And when I did, I grabbed the pen, and then right as I was doing that, I think wanted to check to make sure I had something else. So then I just assumed I had my keys or whatever, and I went out. I was in a rush to go out shopping, and I went to the door, opened the door, saw the package. I said, "Oh, okay, so I got to take this over there." I figured out what was going on with the package. I had to read it first, and then my door has two locks. It's got like the handle lock and then like this other lock that has a bolt, and you can lock them both. And to save time on my way to work, I was locking the handle lock just with a quick turn of the little thing there instead of using my key. And then when I got outside, I didn't have to use my key to lock my handle lock from outside, but I was using the key to lock the bolt lock. So I thought, okay, got outside. I pulled the door shut as usual, like I was going to work. And then I reached for my keys to lock the bolt lock part, and I didn't have my keys. So I had locked myself out. That's the first time that ever happened to me here. And I didn't have anything, set up. So I actually, I had my smartphone and I had some water because it was really hot and my mouth was dry. And I didn't have much else. I had my driver's license and, I actually had my debit card with me, but I had to get on the internet on my smartphone and search for a locksmith, which I'd never done before. And I didn't want to get one out of my area code, so I found one, and I guess it's what came up first in the search results, but later I realized I should have searched better and more. But so I called them, and they had like this foreign sounding voice answering the answering service, and it was around 8 p.m. by then. Well, no, it was around 7:30, I guess. And then, so I said, explain the situation. They want to know my address, of course, and then my number. And I didn't know the number because that's my emergency phone I was using. And so I couldn't see the number while I was on the phone, so I didn't know what my number was. But they said that, well, I guess they could figure it out from the incoming call. So then they said, just wait to be called back. And I said, it's this number, I'm calling you from. And then in the meantime, though, I hung up and then I went and found my number because I had emailed it to myself and saved it in a folder. So I found the number and then I was memorizing it really quickly so I could, spit it back to them on the phone. So I called the answering service again and they answered and I said, okay, so I'm the one who called a few minutes ago. This is my number. And they said, yeah, we know. And so we were just saying, that we're going to come in like 25 minutes or something. I don't remember what they said, but right as I was talking, I got an incoming call. So that was the locksmith. And I answered the call, and he said he'd be there in like 25 minutes. I said, okay. So then I guess he verified my address again, my name and my number, whatever. Then I called the service one more time to say, look, I was called by the locksmith. Sorry, I got cut off earlier because I had to answer that call, and so on. And then, so we hung up or whatever, and then I had to wait, and it was really hot, and I was really thirsty, but I had some water, so I drank, I think, twice, and just enough, I didn't want to have to use the restroom if I'm locked out, right? And there was no way, I debated, should I break a window, and I thought, no, that's not really going to be good. So I figured it was going to hopefully be like less than $100, and I thought I might just be able to pay cash with what I have. And the guy showed up, and he had like this little drill, this little electric motorized drill, and I just have a really simple doorknob lock, okay, and that's all he had to do. It didn't even have to do anything with the bolt lock, but he was saying, oh, this is a complicated lock, and I thought that's funny because it's a really simple lock. It's just a door handle, a normal round knob door handle, and it came with the home. I didn't install it myself though, but so then he said he had to call, and he was just on the phone for he just said a few words, and that was it. Not even just seemed like maybe 2 or 3 words at the most or so. And then he got off the phone, and then I got it open, And then he showed me this invoice because I just figured it was going to be reasonable, and it was like $349 to drive out there, and then there were two other big fees, and then he said, and there's a 7% fee to use my debit card because I didn't have that much cash, and it came out to $682. And I had no choice. I was out there, and I had to sign it and fill in my name, address, phone number. I don't know if I guess I filled in I gave him a different phone number because that's the one I had memorized. That wasn't my emergency number. And then, he got the debit card and he looked at front and back and was, putting this information or something. And then I'm trying to think, but, so then, and it also had a billing address, and I just wrote same, SAME. And then he said, okay, and then that was it, and he went. And he was a nice guy, and I was really nice. I don't like being a difficult customer because I just don't. And so then I thought, well, that's really expensive. I've really learned my lesson well, and I was just it was like the whole thing was beyond my belief. I was like, from the very beginning, as soon as I realized I had locked myself out way back then. So it was about a half an hour. It was about 30 minutes from when I called to when the guy came. And so I just couldn't believe it, but I had to, and I just knew what to do. I mean, I kept trying to handle a few times. I didn't want to damage anything. And there was no way to get in. And my back door was even worse because the outer storm door was locked from inside, and then everything was locked, the bolt and the doorknob. And this was only the doorknob. But the weird thing was that, there was nothing I could do. And then later, I did some searching on the internet when I was at home. I decided not even to go shopping. I figured I don't need to spend any money after that. And I verified that they had successfully billed me for $682. And I saw that on my bank account statement. And then I thought, I can't really, of course, I was thinking all along after I saw that amount, I said, I can't really do this very much. And so I went online to do some search inquiries, as to what this should cost. And none of them showed anything like that amount of money. It was like double about the highest thing I was seeing anywhere. So that's really, really weird. I don't know what I should do. I'm thinking I should call the Chamber of Commerce or the police. And it was late at, so I couldn't call like a normal locksmith. One of them had like $22 fee to go there, and then there would be some additional charges, but it was nothing like what I paid, a total of $682. And that's like, I agreed to pay it, but I don't know if, that's right, what I should do. So I'm thinking about calling the Chamber of Commerce, or there's something like that. If they don't actually have a Chamber of Commerce for my town, they have something like some other kind of thing, and call the police and try to figure out what to do, if there's any way. So I think I should pay something. I think I should pay a fair amount. So like if I go to my bank and dispute the charge and say, then they're going to take the whole charge off, and I can't feel like I should decide that it's worth a certain amount, like $100, $150, $275, whatever. So that's not really for me to decide. That wouldn't be quite fair either. But I think, so for me to, like I said, to take the whole charge off would be ridiculous, right? Because then, that I do believe I should pay something, but I should pay something fair, like the right amount. But this is, I just, I agreed to pay it and I did and everything, but I don't know what to do. Like if I should try to pursue the matter and get all my money back. Oh, no, I'm sorry, don't get all my money back. Get some of my money back. But, I'd like to get most of it back, like at least 2/3 of it or more. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you want to comment and say what you think about it, just don't put any really ridiculous comments in there, if you know what I mean. Make it smart, make it good, make it right, or don't comment at all, please. But if you got something, appropriate, intelligent, experienced, knowledgeable to say about this in a polite, respectful manner to everybody who's going to be reading it, feel free to do that. But don't write something silly and ridiculous like I see a lot, You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, thank you. Have a great time. Hope you're all taking good care of yourselves. And have a great 4th of July. Have a super time, everybody.